We've got 4 games coming for you today. We see a view there from behind the main basket. There's the 16 teams that now they've qualified. USA and Turkey to your left there have qualified directly. USA as champions and Turkey as hosts. And then 2 from Africa, 3 from the Americas, and so on and so forth. The graphic escaped me quickly. Here's our 4 games coming up today, 2 o'clock local time. The African second-up, the runners-up, Mozambique, play the FIBA Americas runners-up, Canada. Japan, Spain, Turkey, France, and then Brazil, Czech Republic to finish. And we've got a humdinger here. Mark Clark is joining me as the analyst for today's game. Mark, we're just running through there the rankings of this Group B. Where do you see this Group B ending up, for one thing?
Well, Group B, very competitive, with obviously the hosts Turkey and France that will come here as favourites, but Canada going transition period. They've got a real nice balance to the team of experienced and some younger players that will probably give an more up-tempo style to Canada than we've been used to over the last championships. Canadians in the crowd will expect this team to build on that performance last year in FIBA Americas, where they were the runners-up, and look to really make an impact on the world stage. And with the transitional team, it will be really interesting to see first time out against the Mozambique team that really scored for fun in Afro-basket, but have struggled in their preparation to really tick the scoreboard over. So contrasting styles, should be a really interesting first matchup. And as you know, in first game, Mick, first night nerves are going to be a factor.
Yeah, we're not looking at a very high-scoring game, Mark. You talked about Canada coming in with about a 60-point average, and Mozambique have taken some fairly severe beatings on their way in. It was the Canadian team onto the floor first. And Mark, give me some names from this roster.
Well, with the roster as is, you've got the experience of the veteran Kim Smith. You've got people like Shona Thorburn, who've been around for a long time on this team. So as a core of players who played a lot of basketball in the international arena, and with a coach that has been the assistant on this program for a while, so she's grown with this team as well. So Canada going through a new period, and they've also got the really experienced exciting Kia Nurse. UConn bound will be a real factor for this team.
And I'm going to really stretch you on this one. Mozambique, run through that roster for me.
Well,
the unknown roster.
Well, the unknown roster, but known to a lot of fans in Africa, because they hosted Afro-basket last year. And Diolinda Uangila, she's one of the leaders of this team, the Deportiva Mataputo captain of the team. But alongside some real athletic size with Leah Dong, who really did pour in some points in the Afro-basket tournament, 14 points a game with 8 rebounds. This team's athletic. If it gets out and run, could be an exciting afternoon here in Ankara.
And a lot of these girls are from the capital of Maputo, where that championship was almost won last year. In overtime, they lost. And we've got the national anthems for Canada to start us off, followed by the national anthem from Mozambique. Well, the world has gathered and waited for two men's and women's championships for the World Cup to begin and end. The men's is already over, Mark. The women's will begin in a little over 3.5 minutes here in Istanbul, here in Ankara and in Istanbul. Mark, talk to me about some favourites for this tournament.
Well, favourites for the tournament, it's just make an assumption that everyone believes the United States will be obviously a favourite, but coming in, one of the teams here in Ankara, France, as we get a look at the three officials from Germany, Senegal and China. And I have to make the point, they're the third team on the floor, and we've got some of the best referees in world basketball at the World Championships.
And quite rightly, Mark, I think it's 12 women referees are at this Women's Championships. It's, again, it's one of these unsung parts of the game. You have to develop the referees as well as the players and the coaches. So it's great to see FIBA taking great steps in promoting women's refereeing. On that lineup there, Mark, you talked about number 5, Kia Nurse, out of high school.
Well, Mick, she's so talented. No one gets recruited by the University of Connecticut unless you are talented. But it's a great weight to have on a young player's shoulders. But she really rose to that challenge last year in the FIBA Americas, 10 points a game. Really did in her 20 minutes on the floor, really do a nice job when she gets the start at the point. But the great thing for her, she has Kim Goucher and Shona Thorburn alongside her. Kim Goucher, vastly experienced, and with AM and Tatham up front, they have some athleticism, this team, and it's quite a big lineup, quick lineup, and they're going to have to deal with the athleticism that Mozambique bring to this game.
And as for Mozambique, they're going to have to deal with the experience. They may have the athleticism, the youth. They've not been at these championships for
ever.
It's their first one, so there's going to be some nerves coming out there as you look at that lineup there. Delinda Nglela, I think, was double-figure average down the bottom. Mafanela was also a contributor at those championships. I'm pretty sure she was like a fourth leading rebounder.
Well, Mick, the other thing to note on this roster, the youngest player is 23 years old, 23, 24, 25. There's a lot of 30-plus players, so while it might be their first world championship, there have been multiple participants at AfroBasket, and culminating last year in that second place, their first chance to get on the podium, and they took it. And with Ngwela and Kosa in the back court, that's a nice combination, nice blend, nice. But Mafanela up front, Mwanga really got to do a job. Ndong, though, for me, on the glass, is going to be a handful for this slightly small Canadian lineup.
Yeah, Leah Dong was fourth leading scorer at the championships last year and second leading rebounder. And at 23 years of age, probably the up-and-coming, along with Nglela, up-and-coming Mozambique basketball player.
Well, any player that goes into a FIBA regional tournament comes out with 14 points and 8 rebounds, you've got to be respected, and that'll be a factor for me. It'll be interesting to see if she can really cause some issues and ask some questions to this Canadian defense on the glass and in the open floor. She's a real handful.
2 shots there. The 2 coaches in charge, Nasir Saleh, took over as head coach of Mozambique in 2007 after being the assistant. I know you've known very well from the Commonwealth Games in 06, Mark, but that continuity for a country like Mozambique is essential.
Very essential. There's the 2 head-to-head players. You'll get this on all of the cut broadcasts here. Kia Nurse, and 10 points a game for a 17-year-old as she was last year, 2.5 assists. She's still 17. She may play with a lot of older. But the matchup, Ngwela, a little bit more experienced, obviously at 33 years old, but she played 31 minutes a game in AfroBasket. She brings it every night, and she's just gonna be a relentless competitor in this game. That's gonna be a tough matchup for Kia Nurse.
Interesting there. There's Nasir Saleh, head coach of Mozambique, just high-fiving his team. Interesting fact about Kia Nurse, Mark, born in 1996, 22nd of February, my birthday. But in terms of playing ability, that's probably where the similarity ends.
Well, Mick, joint birthday party, obviously. We can set that up as this tournament progresses. We see Kia Nurse in shot. And, you're talking to the coaching staff, she may only be 18 years old, but she plays with a great deal of maturity and has dealt with the attention that any UConn recruit gets very, very well. It's just, for me, Mick, can Mozambique control this Canadian team?
Well, we're underway. The first game, the first minutes of the 2014 World Championship for women, and Canada will get first bite of the cherry. There's Kim Goucher-Smith. She'll wear Goucher on the back of her shirt, and she scores first 2. That gives Canada that advantage early on.
Well, mid-range jump shots, if they give Kim Smith mid-range jump shots, then Canada are going to be a very happy team.
There's Mozambique, Nglela. I think she'll see a lot of the ball tonight. Donga, low post, a little bit of athleticism. Aim says no, thank you.
That's a big statement. You know, we talked about Dong's athleticism, and Aim just made a huge statement first play.
Here's Kia Nurse's first touch of the game, straight to Aim on that high post. Back to Nurse for her first shot of the World Championships. And Nurse will get another chance to run things for Canada. They'll be very disciplined, Mark, won't they? They'll run a lot of offenses. In stark contrast to probably Mozambique, will love to really get this tempo up and a little hectic perhaps. Shot down low, and it will count. Tamara Tatham gets her account under the way.
Well, Mick, exactly as you said, you know, if we get a replay of it, they hustled, they got the offensive rebound, got the second shot, and then just ran a play, got it high, looked down low, nice duck in, nice move. Mozambique have just got to be aggressive. Got to try and take Canada out of their sets and make them just play a little more broken, a little freer, and then just challenge them athletically. If they run a half-court game, Canada are just going to continue to roll on as this game develops.
I think that foul was against Ruta Moyanga, and yet 14 was the camera shot. I'm sure it's Moyanga's phone. They're up on the scoreboard. It is number 12, Moyanga. Here's Nglela, great pass down low, and first points for Mozambique for Annabella Cossa, and showing no signs of nerves there. Straight
down the gut, the defense. They've really got to be the aggressor. Make this an aggressive game over the full court. See what they can get out of it.
Here's Goucher Smith over far side to Nurse, up high to Aim. We've seen a lot of ball on that high post. Goucher Smith fumbles, or that little reach. Might be a call from the referees coming soon. No, Nurse, second shot is way short and rebounded by Mozambique. Shot clock's gone off.
Much better hands on the ball, trying to make something happen with their defense, Mozambique. Good sign for them early as well. Both teams got some positives early.
Mark, there's a 30-point differential for the those gambling types. You like to look at those numbers. So Canada high favorites here. Way in the corner here. Three-pointer from Cossa misses. Great hustle. Donga on the floor. There'll be a Canadian foul. I think it's Goucher Smith, number 8. It is indeed.
Mick, that was, for me, again, another good sign for Mozambique. They spread the floor and then just attacked the glass and got some hands involved. They've got to try and get after things like they just did. They've got to be relentless, though, for the whole of the game.
Well, that's the element of the game they have to make ugly. The offensive rebounds. Mwanga, Donga. And Nglela's first shot of the game is a 3 and drops it down. An assist of Nglela, and a trade to go back it up. And tie game, 5 apiece.
Well, what were we talking about, Mick? Early nerves? I haven't seen any signs of that. Both teams have come out, and we talked about preparation early as the foul's called, but 3 months this Mozambique lineup has been together. Yes, they've taken some heavy beatings, but no pressure on them. First time at the World Cup, much more experience now of international basketball. Great job by the coach to sort of put that program together.
Early foul there for Leah Donga. Zaim goes long on the little jump hook, decides to throw it back out. This time the shot is missed by Shona Thorburn. And a chance now for Mozambique to take the lead. Now you figure Mozambique's not going to get too far above 50 points. So Canada looking for the win. They've got to get mid-50s, high, low 60s probably to win this game.
Well, it depends how aggressive this Mozambique team is.
Cossa penetrates, pulls back for a little 8-footer and nails it. 4 for Cossa. And these two guards, Nglela and Cossa, the Canadian coaches will have to maybe earmark and a few adjustments maybe as we move through this game.
If it stays like this, Mick, you can see Canada just go into a zone just to make it a much slower tempo. No one on the glass for Canada there, then that's not a good sign.
This 3 from Goucher Smith there. Now they'll have to play some defense and knuckle down and try and stop this Mozambique offense that's been together for 3 months, even though the Nglela's 3. Well,
welcome to Ankara, Nglela, making an announcement, Mick. You know, we talked about her being a key factor, and she would go all game in a tough matchup. She's demonstrated that right away. She won't slow down.
6 now for Nglela and 4 for Cossa. Into the lane goes Aim on another fadeaway. This one's short. The rebound goes to Mafanela. And head coach Lisa Tomaides has gone straight down the bench. 2 players headed into the Canadian foray, as Murphy and Langlois will come in and emerge soon. We're not sure who they're going to come in for. Muyanga opens up on a tray. 3 threes, timeout for Canada. They've taken a 13-5 lead. A team that was not going to score more than 50 has 13 after 4.25 minutes.
It's time. Let's go.
Well, Mick, I'm very, very impressed the way that Mozambique have come out, fearlessly have come out. And there's no point, they have a style of play. They averaged 84 points a game through most of the stage of the Afro basket last year. So there's no point in them coming out and trying to run some slow down basketball against Canada. Canada will just dominate them if they do. But for me, Canada have been very passive defensively. They've almost let that penetration happen. They've given the kick to the open shot. And they've got to step it up defensively to try and force Mozambique into turnovers, and they can be turnover prone.
Well, there's nothing like a 13-5 lead to wake you up defensively, that's for sure. And that's exactly what I'm sure Lisa Tomaides, head coach of Canada, would have identified in that minute's break. Here we back live. Langlois will play at point guard. Kia Nursin is also the 1-2 guard option, and a foul against Annabella Cossa, number 7 for Mozambique, just tugging back on Thorburn.
Well, Lisa Murphy, number 12, who's just come in. She's one of these players which gives Canada this nice blend of experience. Plays her basketball in France, has done a really nice job throughout the last few years with this team, and she is one of those steady eddies. She'll come off the bench, do a nice job, can really knock down shots if you give her the open look.
So Canada's offense here, just trying to get something started in the wall corner. Langlois for 3. There's the first tray for Canada.
Well, you cannot leave one. If you're guarding someone one pass away from the ball and you leave, and they find that pass, it's like a drill. Nice shot, nice execution.
Muyanga's on that far side, just looking to reverse the ball here to Costa. Drives baseline, great pass down low, and Donga scores her first 2 of the World Championship, and a nice looking assist from Muyanga. Murphy looking to reverse the ball back over, and a fumble. I'm not sure that Mia-Marie Langlois was expecting that pass. She dropped it straight away. 3 subs in the game for Canada. This is typical North American basketball, isn't it? Run them in, run them out.
Well, no one really averages 25 plus. They all spread the minutes out. But for me at the moment, there doesn't appear to be that leadership and that control from the Canadian team. That, the turnovers, some of the breakdowns.
And stark contrast to the Mozambique will probably play 5, maybe 7 players through this game. Here's Nglela, Muyanga here. Drove last time and had a nice assist. Donga goes baseline. And there was 2 players wide open on that far side, and neither of them could get close to that pass.
But that was so much better from Canada. They contained the penetration, kept everybody in front of them. The rotations were good. The spacing defensively very good. There was no pass. Good structure to that. They've just got to do it every single time, and Mozambique will turn the ball over.
Looking down low on a post up there to Michelle Plouffe in the game for the first time is Murphy, 12. Langlois. Down low to...
Oh, good effort,
the
great
other Plouffe,
effort.
Catherine Plouffe, that is, so both Plouffe sisters in the game. Great pass, Nglela, and Mafanela can't finish. And it is number Catherine Plouffe with the rebound. Sister Michelle Plouffe is 15. There's Murphy. Good movement here offensively, Mark, from the Canadians. There's the open jump shot from Pilipaitis.
Well,
Pilipaitis for 3.
Canadians go with Pilipaitis and Murphy in the game. They are those players. They'll move the basketball. You give them the feet, get their feet set. They will take shots, and they will make them if you just stand off and stop being aggressive defensively.
Down low to Donga, guarded by Plouffe, and Plouffe gives up a foul. Catherine Plouffe, that is. Donga gets the and 1.
Tough move. We got to look at this one again, Mick. Great body control. Great baseline drop step. Watch this. Gets it. Uses a body so well. Great angle on the backboard. No way they can block that. Great move.
And Catherine Plouffe gave up the foul before the ball was going up for a shot, but the referees are more than happy to give her the and one on that one.
In the motion to the hoop, I think is the phrase.
And Leah Donga, who was that fourth leading scorer last year at the Afrobasket, is carrying on exactly where she left off. She has 5 now for the game. It's Pilipaitis, Langlois. Catherine Plouffe up high, number 11, down low to Pilipaitis. She has 5 now. That's a good movement there.
Getting off their sets though, took the high post, little cut off the screen, got positioned down low and sealed off on the switch. Good execution, but very much Canadian style.
Well, Nglela's just left Langlois on the floor on a crosser. I'm sure she slipped rather than was taken with the ankle breaker. The jump shot was missed by Nglela, and the chance now for Canada to eat into this 5-point lead. They've been behind since about the 2nd or 3rd minute. Murphy goes short on the 3, and Langlois, off the missed box out from Mozambique, will collect the start again. Here's Murphy again. They've got a lot of joy out of this low post play. That one's intercepted, picked up by Murphy. And this is Michelle Plouffe for 3. And we have a 2-point game, and Nasser Saleh, Mark, calls Tio as Mozambique want to talk it over. Exciting first period.
Well, I mean, we talked before the game when we were talking, prep for this this game. Turnovers might be an issue for Mozambique, but they've taken good care of the basketball. One of the issues that I didn't see happening was the fact they're just giving up so many offensive rebounds to Canada to run with, not because of athleticism. They're just missing box outs. And this Mozambique team should really own the glass. You know, they really should dominate that aspect of this game. And coming in, statistically, look like they would. But Canada, and it's the heads-up play of some of the Canadian vets that have just put themselves in the right position. And offensive rebounds have kept Canada close.
And that bench scoring, that shows you the benefit of bringing the roll-on, roll-off substitutions. I think those last 3 substitutions, the 2 Plouffe girls and Pilipaitis into the game, I mean, they've scored. That's the 11-0 run right there from the bench. I mean, that substitution, that change, that adjustment by Coach Tomaides has been the element that's really got them back in the game here. But I'm just impressed with this 18 points from Mozambique. I'll go back to it again, what they're averaging 45 in the build-up.
Preparation never got over 50 apart from one game. I think that was against Japan B. But you've got to go through some pain in preparation. If you get, like Coach Sal said, like they're not used to this, then they've got to prepare. They've got to expose themselves to international basketball. That's what he's done for 3 months, and here's the result. A really nice start to the game. 18 points in 8 minutes. Very good start for Mozambique.
Well, Canada didn't really have a pressing team on the floor, and they backed off, retreated straight away as the ball was inbounded. But just a little sign there to Mozambique. We've got you in our pockets, perhaps defensively. But you're right, Mark, I think the zone might be something to go to, maybe second period. Mafanela picks up the dribble early, settles for a J, gets blocked. And it is Kim Goucher-Smith who will get the stat on the stat sheet. Wide open here is Catherine Michelle Plouffe, and yeah, exactly right, Mark. Just dragged the pivot foot.
See, I mean, I think with Mozambique, it'd be interesting as we look at this as the game develops. If they really do need to look for early offense when they get the opportunity, when the defense isn't set. When Canada have set their defense, it really does give the Mozambique team a problem. Whereas they take the early shot like that, they've even got the offensive rebound opportunity.
Len Dong's just going to work down there, and the referees have pinged her for a travel on that offensive board and just shuffled her feet. That's unfortunate for Leah Dong.
Mick, she's so active on the glass. And then she's, again, because they took the shot a little early, and it might not be everybody's cup of tea. The basketball aficionados out there might want to see him run a bit more offense, look for the high percentage shot. But this team's effective in broken play. And it'd be interesting to see if they can keep that and believe in what they're doing. It's worked for them so far.
Well, Tamara Tatum steps into the game and is fouled on a drive to the baseline. Tamara Tatum must be wondering what she's done wrong. She's 9th off the bench, averaging 12.5 points a game last year and 7 rebounds in the qualifying tournament.
She was one of those quick starters, Mick. She was one of the first people out, and then they took her out after a couple of minutes. And she's like, again, but she must still be wondering, it's like, and that's sometimes the issue, players being comfortable in their role. If they're They don't get that sort of regular part of the rotation. It can throw players who always, with their clubs and their universities, are used to being major minute players.
Well, she's on the scoreboard now. Leah Dong, another sky rebound. This is a young 23-year-old from Mozambique that's got a big future. Kossa, oh, great turnaround from Nglelo. Should end up with a basket. Donga's failed and fumbled it. Mafanela misses the J, and Tatum a rebound.
They will have these dry periods, mate. We know they're going to dry up now and again, go through a little bit of scoring drought. They've just got to stay with what works for them as a group.
Good cut from Goucher-Smith. Tatum looking to reverse the ball. Goucher-Smith comes up top. Pilipaitis wide open, and Catherine Plouffe with 2 more. I think she has 5 now with the 3 she made earlier on.
A little bit too much offense almost for Mozambique to counter there. Really nice read by the Canadians in the half court.
Well, Nglelo winds up another 3. That would have been her 3rd 3. She's made 2 already. Donga picks up a foul. That might be her 2nd. It is indeed.
Donga can't get into foul trouble. You know, she's picked up 2. She just can't. She cannot be have limited minutes because of foul trouble. And she's like telling good communication with coach and player. You love to see that. In it, Dong saying to her coach, she'll always say she's all right. She wants to play, but Coach Sal just checking, making sure she's aware. And the enthusiasm and desire, first game of the World Championship. She's just got to stay clean in the game now. She has to play 30 minutes here for them to have a realistic opportunity to keep this close.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. 48.5 seconds left. Mozambique in the bonus now. 5 team fouls. Kim Goucher-Smith steps to the line to try and make him pay for that last mistake. Canada are back in the lead. 2 now.
Could be a chance though for Coach Sal to rest Dong just at the end of the quarter here, so she can just collect herself. But he's decided to leave her in.
Well, that would be a safe option, wouldn't it? You don't want to pick up the 3rd foul now in this last minute. Anyway,
just give her a little bit more of a break between the quarters.
Nglelo just looking to run things off again. 15 is Gimo, 14 Mafanela. Down low, Nglelo's fumbled it. Now there's elements here of Mozambique. They haven't scored for 5 minutes now. 4.25 minutes gone, they're at 18.
But again, Mick, nice cut offensively. Really, that's the 2nd time they've run that play where they get that little high post screen with a guard coming through, and they've lost the Canadian defense on it twice at the moment.
Foul against Annabella Kossa. That will be, that looks like it might be 3rd foul for Annabelle Kossa. Yep. That's a rough 10 minutes for her. And again, another example where you don't want to pick up a silly foul at the end of a period.
Mikato's come in though for Mozambique, and Mikato, you know, average around just over 17 minutes a game for their when they won their silver medal in the Afro basket. So she's not inexperienced, and he's used to filling in at that gate, that spot, the 28-year-old.
Well, the collegiate Nira Fields misses the 2nd free throw after making the 1st. A UCLA player.
Exciting player, Mick, in the NCAA. 17 points a game for UCLA, and that's what a program to play in with a tradition they have there.
I wonder if she's keeping up with her studies, because school has started already. Anyway, with Nglelo, a handoff from Gimo. Donga puts the ball on the floor and loses it. Mozambique are losing their way slightly here offensively, and Canada will take advantage. 5 seconds on the clock. Tatum looks at the 3, comes in for a 2. Tatum throws it up and misses. And that will be the end of the 1st period. Very high scoring, with Canada leading 22-18. There's Tamara Tatum, there's the Mozambique 5. They will have to amble their way over to the bench and receive the words of wisdom from Coach Nira Saleh.
Well, we're going to get a look at the stats, Mick, for that 1st period, and Canada stats, overall pretty reasonable stats. Mozambique, the 4 from 11, and as you said in commentary, though, pointless for the last 4.5 minutes of that quarter. So the 4 from 11 was 4 from 5, and they've just literally dried up. 3 offensive rebounds for Canada, and those 3, it's not the number, it's when. They got those rebounds when they really were struggling to tick the scoreboard over, and came up with 3 consecutive plays where they came up with offensive rebounds. Mozambique had no turnovers in the first 5 minutes, 4 in that last 4.5 minutes period when they did not score. Mick, these highlights that they've just had a chance to look at, sort of sum it up in terms of when Canada have had the chance to move the ball and get into the half court, they've got some great looks at the basket, very good execution, and but when Mozambique have got after them a little bit, when they've got their hands involved, they've taken them out of their sets, that works for them. They've got to stay with that. That will mean that he may have to use some people off the bench just to keep that tempo and that defense going. So otherwise he's going to have people in foul trouble. So he's got to share his fouls out if he wants to play that style of defense. Down the other end, when they play aggressive, they look dangerous, and they really do create a problem for Canada. Canada really have to keep the intensity level high defensively. They've steadied the ship, though, Canada, with a 22-18 lead.
Well, second period set to start. Good words, Mark. I like that. I think the only problem with Mozambique is their inability to, the first quarter, to stay out of foul trouble.
Yep.
And Donga and Kosa will have to be very, very mindful. Nglela here, who scored a couple of threes. It's not a great pass down low to Makato. The ball's on the floor, and the referees will give it back to Canada on the possession arrow.
One of those plays that she was always going to try and make that bounce pass regardless of what the Canadian defense did, and by the time she tried to throw it, everybody had their feet in the keyway.
See a red shirt in there, wasn't it?
This is a good sign, though, Mick. Up a little bit of pressure from Mozambique. Just got to keep clean and stay out of foul trouble.
Well, Goucher-Smith breaks that pressure with these, and I think that's the other thing. You're going to have to come up with a few more creative elements to your defense if you're going to play teams like Canada to make them think a little more. In that far corner, down low to Plouffe, and they've got a foul. That'd be.
See, that's a great example of what we're talking about. The pressure was good because it took a lot of time out of the shot clock. It's usually 5 seconds on that possession when that foul was committed. And they fouled Plouffe behind the backboard. She's already gone there. There's no need to foul her on that cut. Just stay clean and make her make a play.
Well, I think she did everything she could to stay out of foul trouble. It's just the initial contact with the hands that the referees don't like to see. And Storben, into the lane goes Goucher-Smith. Back out to Fields. Fields is way off to the right. And that three-pointer.
They're going to call a travel for getting up with it.
Number 10, Philomena Makato.
Heads up play by Goucher there. She just stood there. Didn't really get involved in the ball. No foul. She was just... The travel was just because she played smart.
Sideline ball for Canada here. Goucher-Smith has fumbled around for that ball. Eventually he gets it. Thorburn drives baseline. Great look down to Tatum. Tatum can't finish. And Leah Donga, who's got a fair share of stats tonight.
They're already getting rebounds. Really racking them up.
Business, yep.
That's a 7th rebound already.
Nglela, I think a lot of great post up from Gmo. Just gets Catherine Plouffe on the wrong side defensively. And Plouffe has to give up the foul. Mozambique have to get to the free throw line.
Well, Gmo, Mick, yeah, the free throws could be an issue for Mozambique as this game develops, because they haven't shot the free throw well in prep, and they didn't shoot it that well in AfroBasket last year. But Gmo's one of their scorers. She's been very good in terms of preparation. It's her first opportunity to get a look at the ring, and she draws contact. She's a big body in there. Nice post up, big seal, big target. Just has to make the free throws.
And unfortunately, she's a 56% free throw shooter. And if you don't make both of them, you get 1 out of 2, you give your team a bit of confidence. You miss both of them, your team thinks, well, we've got that whole possession, worked a foul, and got nothing out of it except the foul, which is obviously of some benefit.
Mwanga comes into the game for Mozambique, and again, the little trap.
Thorburn to Goucher-Smith, slight shuffle of the feet. Naira Fields opens up with a long one. Dong, another rebound. That is the best rebounder on the floor right now of either team. Nglela puts the ball on the floor. Good little speed about Nglela I like to see. It's a good block as well by Naira Fields. Just stayed with the play, didn't foul.
You got to like the defense, haven't you? You got to like the fact they got up the floor, a little trap, forced a travel that the referees didn't call, and then they forced an early jump shot and got the defensive rebound. Is that the coaching manual? Force the bad shot, get the rebound.
Kia Nurse in the games for Naira Fields, just picked up that block. Leon Dong, unfortunately, just goes a little too hard. The move was exquisite, Mark, the step through.
What a... She's got so much upsides, hasn't she, for the 23-year-old? Just had a little bit of composure. Would have made the 2.
I question what WNBA teams have seen her play, because on this performance, just his first 12 minutes, got a
Well, she's the only player from this Mozambique team that plays outside of Mozambique. She plays in Angola in a very, very competitive league that has reasonable finance. But she looks, you know, teams in Europe, teams in America, she's an option.
Great pass down low. The missed jump shot there from Miranda Aim, almost picked up by Kia Nurse.
She has a hunger for the ball on the glass, does Dong.
Well, Kia Nurse just paying close attention there to Nglela, Deolinda Nglela, the chief guard for Mozambique. Free from Muyanga.
Someone's lifted the that lid off the basket now. Tick it over. That's the first field goal for a long time.
And we're tied up at 22 apiece. And that pass has gone right through the hands of Aim. And where Canada showed their frailties after minute 2 in the first period, this 5 on the floor have done exactly the same thing. And have let Mozambique just come with a sniff of perhaps competing in this game.
Well, Mafanela's got to do a job on the glass now because Dong's just been owning the glass at the defensive end for Mozambique. So as a team, Mozambique have to pick that slack up now.
Mikato comes trolling through this baseline over on the far side there to Muyanga. Another 3 from Ruta Muyanga. Back-to-back trays, and all of a sudden, the 15 or so Mozambique supporters on the far side are just jumping around.
That's how to have impact coming off the bench, isn't it? Back-to-back threes.
Great penetration from Nurse, will lay it up. And Nglela's defense there was left wanted and a turnover. Kia Nurse, I'm not unsure what Jima was trying to do because Nglela came back to get the inbound pass. Kia Nurse just stood still. And Jimo threw the pass straight to Nurse.
Well, Nurse was just recovering after making the layup, wasn't she? She almost just walked into the steal.
Mia Marie Langlois will inbound here for Canada. Murphy's in the game, a lot of substitutions. Keeps the commentators busy, the Canadian coaching staff, that's for sure. Is Aim. Langlois dribbles out, Tatum to the right. Nurse gets the pass on this reversal. Tatum feeds Murphy. A lot of movement from Canada, love to see this. Oh, Kia Nurse in a bit of trouble, maybe a double dribble, that might get intercepted. Tatum in, wide open is Aim. And Mozambique's run and jump defense just got left wanting there.
Well, they just stopped, didn't they? The people on this side of the floor, as you look at it on the camera, just stood after they reversed it, didn't rotate.
I was half expecting somebody from the bench to rotate in there. With the
they needed someone from the bench to steal that one.
Nglela looked at the 3, didn't want it. Mafanela comes in, I think she's traveled or stepped on the baseline, it's a travel.
Well, another example, Mick, you know, Canadian defense was organized, it got back in transition, and they've really not got a lot of joy out that baseline penetration. The Canadian rotation and the defense down there has been very, very good so far in the first 14 minutes of this game.
Well, that move didn't actually look as bad as the referee made it look to be. The travel, Tatum comes up top, Naeem goes, looks go back door, Nurse goes back door too, Aim to Murphy, Murphy in. Langlois opens up with a long 3 and drills it. And we have a 4-point lead for Canada now.
Well, again, you leave the player one pass away and you're asking that player to be open for an easy look.
Nglela turns the corner off the backboard, a little too strong again. And unbelievably, the ball ends up at her feet. And we have a foul against Aim of Canada. Miranda Aim, who plays for Toulouse. A lot of these Canadians do play in France.
Well, it's a great league, the French league. For those people that know, it's Bourges have been the flag bearer in the Women's EuroLeague for the last few years, making a Final 8. It's a very, very tough league. Good league to play pro ball in.
You see Uta Mwanga's 3-pointer there. I mean, she's had a great second period. Number 12 for Mozambique. Nglela goes flying in. Mikato penetrates 2 on Nurse. Nurse almost got a piece of that, but Mikato drills the 15-footer. And it's back to a 2-point game. A team that came in struggling to score 50 already has 27 on the board. Down low to Murphy. Murphy goes way over the top. Nurse picks up, and Nurse drops it in.
It's those little breakdowns, those little next play moments that Mozambique have struggled with in this second quarter. Rotation defensively, just reacting a little quicker.
Mafanela to Nglela. Little push on Jimo in the back there, and Nurse will pick up this foul, the 5 for Canada. The next up-and-coming Canadian superstar, if you will. Interesting, on the bench for Canada, Mark, is the assistant coach, Beverly Smith, who is the one of the legends from Canadian basketball, ex-Olympian as a player, ex-coach, head coach for the Canadian basketball team.
Well, great name of Italian club basketball in the past. She's just, well, she was out of the top drawer, out-and-out superstar player.
And look there from Nglela, ended up as an air ball. Langlois breaks the away from the pack, and a layup might come here from Murphy's. Not sure it's not Murphy, it's Plouffe on the floor.
I wouldn't mind seeing it again. Plouffe just didn't fall over, did she?
Well,
there's no foul called, but she didn't just fall over.
Well, Muyanga's on the floor. I think it's a knee-to-knee contact.
Yeah, there was some contact that maybe was incidental, but it did cause Canada to lose possession of the basketball.
Muyanga's still on the floor. She's the leading scorer for Mozambique with 9 points. I think all 3 from the three-point line. There she is. Ruta Muyanga just getting a... Oh, wow, it's right to the stomach. I think it's a flailing arm or elbow of Michelle Plouffe as she fell to the floor.
Aziniera has come in, number 6 for Mozambique, while you got the shot there. There she is in shot now. You got the shot of the injury.
So first minutes for Diaz-Niera, as is also is Mahonga, Valentina Mahonga, the veteran from Mozambique. Gimo. Diaz-Niera is 6. Gimo in that low post. Is Mahonga. Mafanela's 14. Good ball movement here, but without any real penetration with the ball. Nglela penetrates baseline, mates Murphy square in the face, and Murphy has the best of that. Langlois comes to the foul line, stop and pop for 2. And we have a 6-point lead for Canada, their biggest lead of the game.
Well, great transition. Gets her feet set. No one stopped the ball. That was the issue there for Mozambique. They just let the ball be advanced far too easily.
Naira Fields set to come in for Canada. Diaz-Niera. Oh, long shot from Nglela. She's hit 2 already. Just a little short on that one, but gets the rebound back from Mafanela's efforts.
Surely.
Picked off with ease by Langlois, looking for runners ahead, but nobody had realized she's stolen the ball, and her injury here for Pilipaitis. Now, looks like a knee injury, Mark. She's limping off the floor.
And she's gone straight out as well. So
number 7 for Canada will go to the end of the bench. We've just got it. There she is on screen. And she's got that look about as though she knows exactly what it is. There's no surprises with that knee injury.
Well, the question there is, when's Dong going to come back in the game, Mick? And you know, she's had a fair amount of time on the bench for someone so fundamentally important to this Mozambique team. Now, they haven't really, the lead has grown to 6 without her being on the floor, but you could say that they've got away with that little, you know, just 6 points is the way I'd word it without Dong in the game.
Well, new girl on the block, Kristen Bugard of Canada, number 14, as Miranda Aim sat down. Naira Fields also in the game.
Every Canadian's on the floor now, yeah? So they've all had time already.
Far side Murphy down to Nug. Bugard doesn't quite get control of the ball, as does Diaz-Niera. And it will go back to Canada under Mozambique's basket.
No turn, no ball controls. Got 5 seconds here, Canada. One of those moments in games that really do build momentum. They get a shot out of this, they'll feel very good about themselves.
Well, they have that 6-point lead. They're edging closer to a double-digit job. Bugard, back to Plouffe. Plouffe steps in for a long 18-footer, misses. And wonderful rebound there from Odelia Mafanela. Here's Mahonga, the true veteran of Mozambique basketball. Diaz-Niera is a huge unit in there, Mark. Mahonga, Mafanela. Mafanela turns the corner. They're not quite sure where they want to get the next pass to, the Mozambique. Just really running out of ideas.
They're very good at getting it and attacking. But they've just got to be aware, because they've got to, if they attack space, they really can cause problems. But Canada are packing the middle and taking away those drive lanes.
Lob pass to MacArthur. Could have been picked off by Fields. Didn't sure she realized it. That looks good, but it's just off to the right. Plouffe for the rebound. Mark, I've just realized we got a brass band in the gym.
Down the far end, Mick, behind the basket to
full orchestra is here.
Full orchestra. When are they going to stop marching?
Langlois comes in, not sure where that pass is intended. Great recovery from Michelle Plouffe. Gets the ball back again for the three.
Travel.
Puts the ball on the floor and just drags that pivot foot. And the referees have seen it. The eagle-eyed referees. Sometimes you think they weren't as eagle-eyed as they are.
They're always eagle-eyed, Nick. Always eagle-eyed.
Lisa Tomaides there, just wanting more ball movement. That means no dribbling for the bigs of Canada, I guess.
Well, they've stopped reversing the basketball. They haven't shipped it from one side of the floor to the other the last few times, and it's made life easy for Mozambique.
Mahonga hits her first shot of the game, and it is a three. And Canada's weakness offensively, not being patient, is Mozambique's benefit, really, as they make them pay. Myra Field steps in. Michelle Plouffe says, well, I may not put a dribble, but I'm going to hit a three. Not quite with the accuracy she needed. Mikato to Mahonga. Mozambique can tie it with a three here. Tatham set to come in for Canada, as Tomaides just looking for a five that she can rely on out there. Great spin from Mikato. And the foul will go against Langlois, number 4 for Canada.
See, again, better example for Mozambique if we get a chance to have a look at it, because the penetration on that occasion, the defense hadn't adjusted. There's gaps, there's a little space, so the defense is a little late, and the penetration, the foul on the penetration by Langlois. Whereas, you know, on the previous penetrations, when they've gone baseline, the help's already there. They've been penetrating into a wall of red. Chance to close it to 1.
Yeah, and I'm going to add another one to that. You can't help bad defense, and Langlois needs to toughen up on that spin move. You've got to expect to move into the middle of a lane. Once you've cut off the right hand, the offense has to do something. Mikato hits the first of her 2 free throws, and the game is at 1-pointer mark. They've hit 32 points already. Canada's traditionally low-scoring team. This was a 30-point differential game coming in, and Mozambique have torn that one right out of blown it right out of the water. Langlois, Tatham on this far side, foul against Mozambique's 8, Chambé. First production in the game is to get your name in the score sheet as a foul. A little push in the back here. I'm not sure what happened there.
It looks like a little bump to me.
Yeah,
but,
Kristen Bougard, 14, here she is. One of the bigs for Canada. Hand off to Langlois in the corner. Kia Nurse arcs up a long three, is short. And Gimo the rebound, and here come Mozambique. Mahonga off in the break. Mahonga can't quite get the pass to Mikato. They've got a mixed match, but Gaucher Smith has switched back. Chambé, Mahonga, he's already hit her first shot of the game. Mafanela, great pump fake, draws the defense forward. Chambé, shot clock goes off, and that will not count. 24-second violation. Minute 6 to play, Mark. 1-point game for Canada.
Well, I tell you, at this point in time, Mick, if you're Coach Sal, you're very happy. Dong, who had the 2 fouls, he took her out. His team and her teammates have really stepped up. Both ends of the floor on the glass have done a really nice job. He's got through. He's pretty much got through to half here with Dong just on 2. You know, his team has really responded well.
3 there from Gaucher Smith. Mrs. Tatham collects and cleans up on rebounding duty. High post Aim. Can't quite fall wide open. Gaucher Smith should finish this with ease. Kim Gaucher Smith. Who, at the last World Cup, Mark, was she just Kim Smith then?
Kim Smith, yeah.
So, we had the Gaucher now. Uh-oh, the band's really off to a run now. Not sure what merit.
We're on the can now, man.
Not sure what merited this. Gimo.
I'll tell you who's enjoying it, though. The Mozambique fans are just up with this.
Let me say the French are enjoying it. Mahonga goes deep into the lane off the backboard a little too hard, and Mozambique will keep it with 14.5 seconds left. I think they've just gone to a playlist they've just produced pre-tournament. Timeout here for Mozambique, I think.
That's disappointing for Canada, because Coach this tried to cancel the timeout. She's entitled to cancel the timeout, and she was clearly saying to the table she didn't want the timeout, and the table had forced her to take it because she asked for it. But she clearly asked when she saw the possession going the other way. She clearly cancelled it.
I'm not sure you can do that, though, can you?
Well, she was already there before they'd blown and said, you know. So at this level, maybe I'm big on that then if that's the rule, don't call it until the ball goes out of bounds, then run over and make the call.
Yeah.
But now Mozambique get a free look at a timeout here.
You indeed.
For 14 and a half, they don't need to. The worst they should go in is 3 down. And they've had Dong only 2 fouls, so they're in a really good shape. Now Canada could turn this to their advantage though and come up with a defense. They may trap coming out of the inbound pass, or throw a zone in, do something, but they didn't want the timeout. They tried to cancel it, and at the end of the day, it could work to Mozambique's advantage going in. They score now, it's a 1 or a tied up game.
I think one of the new elements of the game is the defensive machinations that go on with coaches on these inbounds, and sometimes the inbound defender will come and pick up the first pass. And
Absolutely.
Kia Nurse is 5, is inbound in the Mahonga, who's going to take it in for Mozambique. So keep your eye on Kia Nurse, whether she switches out on this first pass. Well, there is 14 and a half seconds left, so there's plenty of time to catch and run something besides a quick catch and shoot, and that's exactly what Mozambique will do. Mahonga penetrates. They've got to switch out of that too. Somebody might be wide open here. Mafanela steps in. She'll get the last shot of the calf. Well, possibly she won't because it's an air ball.
Well, Mozambique still have a foul to give here, so they may need to just a little bit of insurance, let it in. If they can't steal it, start the dribble.
Well, Mafanela decides to play a little block on the volleyball. Gets it. 0.3 of a second came off there. That was quick timekeeping work. Into the knee up, Kia Nurse. Nurse fumbles it and is fouled. That's the,
No, it's before the shot.
Continuation.
That's before the shot.
Will not count, I'm sure.
That's a good foul.
That was a comment I was about to make. The referees are quite happy with continuation 8 feet and under. When you get a place like that, they're not going to go near
I think they fouled around the halfway line, and then they were fine.
Foul is on 14, Mafanela. It will be sideline ball with...
Great thing with the referee there, made it no histrionics. This is the call, let's get on with the game now. And the Canadians didn't make a big deal of it. They knew what the scenario was, worth an ask, but good foul by Mozambique.
Inbound here for Goucher Smith. Love pass there, and Aim's missed it. I'm not sure whether the referees would have counted it, but
I think they would. I think they would, Mick. The time was still there when she got rid of it, and she should be kicking herself after missing that.
Well, Lisa Tomaides there took a timeout when she didn't need one, and she probably needed one at the end of that play, but she had something in the locker room to come up with a lob play. They didn't score it, but at half-time, Canada do have a 3-point lead, 35-32. Mark will get some stats up. I'm going to let you salivate over them and just let us know what's going on. There you go.
Well, there's the stats. Mozambique, a woeful 28% from the 2-point line, 55% from the 3-point line, keeping them in it. Rolls reverse the other end. Canada, when they run in the half court, get really nice options around the ring on any mismatches off the switches. Mozambique have addressed that rebounding issue they had. So Canada had those 3 offensive rebounds, kept them down to 2 in that period. And the 7 offensive rebounds of their own, Mozambique, give them that slight edge on the glass, which is what they're going to need to have to maintain this.
Well, you made me laugh before pre-game. You said that Mozambique were the leading team in the Afro-Basket with 3-point shooting, and all I just said to myself, yeah, that's going to be an effort tonight. That's going to help them. But of course, 55%. Eat my words.
Well, turnovers was the other thing we highlighted. There you see the 10 turnovers. You don't like seeing double-digit turnovers in a half as a coach. And 4 blocks for Canada. That's a physical statement. They really did a nice job. Normally mostly on the guards. But Mozambique will be very, very happy as they're in that halftime locker room. And while you were subbing up, when the score came up, they ran to the locker room. They're up for it. They believe they're in the game now. Canada walks away a little bit shell-shocked after these performances, and we'll leave you with the highlights of that first half that really will show how Canada around the basket, good execution, got good looks, but we're going to see some threes from Mozambique that have really given them a chance of a huge upset on this World Cup debut.
And welcome back, everybody. Nasir Saleh to your right there, head coach of Mozambique, just perusing the stats from the first half. Mark, you looked at the stats of the first half. Anything jumps out at you straight away?
Well, the two things, both teams are getting contributions across the roster. 8 Canadians have scored, everybody's got in. The Philippines injury is a little worry, but they're getting contributions. 6 of the lineup from Mozambique have scored, and as importantly as that, they got 8 minutes in that second period without Dong on the floor because she picked up the second foul in the first period, and they didn't miss a beat. Everyone contributed, and then Coach Sal was very pleased with that. But Dong's been a bit of a standout for me. The 8 rebounds, 5 points. She just has a hunger for the basketball, and minutes from her are going to be big, and we'll be really supported by this Mozambique contingent of fans in the crowd that made themselves heard. Them and the band are doing a nice job working together.
The band are ominously not here right now.
They're getting refreshment, Mick. They're on the halftime break too. They're getting a warm cup of tea, I think.
And a hobnob. On for the rest. We've got 2 minutes to go for game restarts here. A 3-point lead for Canada, 35-32. You see some of the Canadians warming up here. I would have thought that first 5 minutes, they took a 5-0 lead, Mark. And reading the stats, that's when Mozambique went on a 13-0 run. They led 13-5. That caused Coach Tamaides, Lisa Tamaides, to call timeout. Just get the attention of the players on the floor of anything. You know, when you come into a world championship, you know, who's got the greater nerves? And maybe Canada, after that first minute or so, just didn't know what hit them.
Well, it's obviously players are human, obvious statement to make, but you come into this Mozambique's first appearance at the World Cup, you go 5-0 out, get the start you want, you get the plays you want. You know, it almost confirms what you think, even subconsciously. You respect your opponent, but it almost confirms, yeah, we're at Canada, we're vastly experienced, we've been in the World Championships, we're, you know, new team, we're doing a nice job. But then Mozambique just kind of bang and punched them with a couple of threes and really got the thing going. And Coach Tamaides did a nice job settling the ship. But the thing about Mozambique is, because they're like doing a nice job from the three-point line, Dong does a great job on the boards. They're never out of a game. They will get those little runs where they score points in a hurry. So you can never, ever relax. And I'm sure in the Canadian locker room, they were talking about being relentless in the way they execute the game plan. Because when in the half court they execute, they got some nice things off their sets. The switches from Mozambique were punished with good execution by Canada. Mozambique just got to keep it a little loose, a little broken, and then hope those threes continue to fall and hope Dong stays out of foul trouble.
Well, and the 3 points is their lifeline, isn't it? That's their DNA, if you want, coming into this tournament. And you look at the preparation games, Mark, there was nothing to suggest they had any element of resilience in this team, losing by 40 points in the build-up games.
Well, you've got to give coaches credit in moments like that, because I'm sure Coach Sal was always talking about, why are we here? Why are we in the Czech Republic? Why are we doing this? And you know, that would have been about getting ready to come to Ankara, and that's what they appear to have done. And don't forget, they had a lot of good looks on those penetrations where they were just a little bit heavy on the shot, so they can get to the ring. And this 35-32 game tells you everything you need to know. This is close, could go either way.
Well, Mozambique will kick this second half off, and Nglela here at number 5. Kosu had 3 early fouls, is 7. Gimo 15, Donga 11, and Mwiango's hit 3 threes in this first period of the game. First shot of the game is the second half, is Kosu's shot. Now Canada might have a chance to run here, something you don't often talk about with Canada very often. Naeem under the basket. Kia Nurse opens up, 3 for Kia Nurse. And now we have a 6-point lead once again.
Nice transition. Great patience in transition. No set on the set. Moved it out. Nurse wide open. And Mozambique just have to do a better job picking up, coming back.
Canada's off defense is getting a little more physical as Miranda Ayeem picks up that foul. Just nudging Leah Donga in the back on the cut to the low post.
Every team wants to have a Dong player, you know, because she's just banging around on the inside. She just goes after every rebound, and you just don't get any change out of her at all. Relentless in her effort.
Muyanga down low to Dong. Dong will rise. There's contact. It was mostly on the ball, said the referee. That's why Canada will not get the ball on the end line.
Well, it came down in Dong's hands. She almost threw it out of bounds.
Yeah, it looked like he was trying to get a shot away in the end, wasn't it, or a pass?
Yeah.
End line ball for Mozambique. There's 3 on the shot clock, and they're going to change to the other side now. That's trust the referees to confuse everybody. Nice pass to Cossa. Annabelle Cossa's in trouble now. That's deflected again. Back-to-back offenses go begging for Mozambique. Nurse goes in. Nurse can't make the layup. Rebounded by Aim. Canada's showing a little bit of more spirit now to start this second half. Nurse stops it down to Miranda Aim, who's left wide open. And that will end up in Mozambique's hand off the defensive rebound. And Nglela will call the play. Start another offense, yet to score this second half, Mozambique. Nglela, a little shot fake, it's a foul, but the ball is short. I thought it was going in, it looked like it might have been.
Well, it's one of those standard phrases, it don't foul the jump shooter. And Nurse just picking up a second foul, got a little carried away as she...
See what this foul is.
Yeah, straight
on the follow-through, isn't it?
Yeah, straight across her. Got to remember, Kia Nurse, at times she's going to make those types of mistakes, a little breakdown mentally. She's that young that she's still learning how to understand this game.
Well, Nglela hits 2 of 2 on the free throws. She has 8 points now, 2 of 5 from the three-point line.
I like this little pressure, though, Mick. Mozambique just asking some questions of Canada.
Well, Canada's not a team that's going to attack it either.
No.
They're going to take their time. They're just going to run it back. It just takes 5 or 6 cases. Tatum goes back door and scores.
Well, you would have hoped in the locker room someone would have said, you know, stop that little back cut, whether it be off the screen or just on the give and go, because they're literally 8 points out that one play.
Nglela in, dishes out to Cossa, attempts another 3-pointer, another one short. Donga is well occupied there by Miranda Aim.
That was a great box out by Aim.
Indeed. Nurse comes in, Nurse to Aim, wraparound pass, back out. Oh, Tatum, and how did that happen? Goucher-Smith right next to each other. The foul will go against Muyanga. How on earth did Tatum and Goucher-Smith end up literally 3 feet from each other on that far side? I'll never know.
Well, it's very un-Canadian-like, that type of breakdown, because they normally space the floor really well. They come down in transition and execute.
This Nurse has already hit 1-3 this second half. Aim is in that low post. Donga's got to be very careful. Great pass to Goucher-Smith, almost stepped out of bounds on the baseline, misses the little putback. And Mozambique have cleaned up again, Mark. 6 points they trail by. They've been in this position before.
Well, this is where Canada have to really, as we see the rebound on the replay being knocked out of bounds by Kim Smith, Goucher rather. They've got it when Mozambique dry up like they've done in the last couple of possessions. Canada have to exploit those opportunities, because sooner or later Mozambique will get things going again. They'll knock down a couple of threes and they'll be right back in it. A little communication with the officials at the moment. They're just trying to resolve it. They're giving it offensive.
I wasn't sure what the referee did as a call. I thought he said 13. It was 12's foul.
Who's the foul on? Because there's 3 fouls is now just shown up.
Yeah, Muyanga's got the 3rd foul. Didn't see where Muyanga was actually involved. I looked at Gimo first of all, and it went to the number 12 instead. Thorburn here over the pick and roll. Thorburn picks up to Goucher-Smith, gets her feet right. Just goes a little long, and Canada in the form of Tatum clean up the rebounds. Aim all the way out to, great pass to Thorburn. Thorburn to Aim, can't quite get the wraparound layup.
This period will come back to haunt Canada if they don't, connect with those opportunities.
Gimo on both ends of the floor, and the foul will go against Miranda Aim. That's 2 fouls just this second half now for Aim, where she's got 3 for the game.
Well, Canada have had literally the last 3 possessions, have had really good looks and just haven't really been able to complete plays. And things have dried up for Mozambique, as they did in the first half. And while this is a great sign for Canada, Filipeta's back in the game. So obviously that little knee injury wasn't too serious. That's a good sign for them, not just for this game, but for the rest of this World Championships.
And Lizanne Murphy also in the game as Kia Nurse came out and Aim out as well. Costa, another three. This one goes down.
Wow.
And Annabella Costa, 1 of 3 for the half.
Deja vu, Mick. They're going to keep shooting that three, and if you don't execute down the other end and keep it ticking over, they're going to get right back in it.
Murphy takes her own shot and drills a three-pointer, restores the 6-point lead. Well, these two teams are really kicking off right now from beyond the arc. Nglela uses Donga on the screen, comes under it, over it. Nglela looking down, Donga's wide open. They get to the ball eventually. Donga, the big, strong Donga. And Catherine Plouffe holds her ground, escapes the trouble. And it will go to Canada, is it?
No, it's a Mozambique ball.
Block shot there from Catherine Plouffe.
It's a tough call. She wasn't straight up at all.
Somebody was tugging a shirt in, and Nglela's shirt was being pushed along, and there's the foul against Pilipaitis.
It's a poor foul, isn't it, Mick? You know, they've contained Costa. She's dribbling towards the foul line, away from the basket, and they end up like going after it a little too much and pick up a foul where they don't need. And that's the 4th team foul for Canada, and still 6 minutes on this 3rd period to go.
Nglela wide open. Oh, Dongas rises for the rebound, can't pick it up. Out of the pack comes Langlois. Pilipaitis, skip pass over to Tatum. And Gimo's blocked it, but foul. Tatum on the floor. Gimo celebrates the unblock, the anti-block if you want, because it's a foul in the book. I'm not sure what you want to celebrate about that. Let's have a look, make your own. There was so much contact with the body. I'm not sure.
And to be fair, she didn't have to do that. She could have actually contested that shot and probably got the block without actually the follow through.
Lisa Tomaides was quite happy to grab the referee's whistle and make that call herself, I think. Well, Tatham's not made the Mozambique team pay for this one. The biggest lead of the game is 6, I think. Oh, it's
Canada's
biggest
lead.
Now it's 7. Mozambique did have a lead of 8. So it is Canada's biggest lead so far, 7. 30-point favorites before this game started. But Mozambique have done their bit to play their, make this a competitive edge game. Nglela, who's played, I think, every minute so far. Let's pick it up and find a replacement. Picked off by Murphy. Nglela really messed up there. The band are back in, Mark.
Well, the band are back in, and Mozambique stood still, and Nglela had to turn it, had no option but to try to find a pass.
Catherine Plouffe out of the low post, back into the high post. Pilipaitis picks up. Plouffe wide open here. Can she finish? Catherine Plouffe, well-worked play from Canada. They lead by 9, and Coach Nasir Saleh calls a big TO as he wants to talk things over.
Well, Mick, Coach Saleh, if he just sorts out how they play their defense on the give and go on the backstream, because they follow the ball. Ball comes out of the hands, in that case of Plouffe, and Dong just followed the ball. Plouffe turns ahead, so Plouffe makes a little back cut to the basket, and Canada are just milking that play, and so they should. Until that gets stopped, it's going to be a real thorn in the side of the Mozambique defense, because it's giving them too many easy looks around the basket.
Yeah, that's a defensive rotation job where you hang back as the big on that pick and roll.
Well, it's that, or the people away from the basketball just have to get underneath that screen to say, when you cut, I'm here, and make Canada kick the ball to the wing.
So the girls back on the floor here. Canada first, Mozambique to follow. The Mozambique team have gone through a 2-minute period where they will feel is their worst period of the game, and Canada, in contrast, will feel this is their time right now. Can they turn the screw in this last 5 minutes to really open this game up, maybe mid-teens by the end of the 3rd period? Deolinda Nglela, number 5, to Annabella Cossa. Kossa takes another three, another deflected shot. Make that the third or fourth this half already.
It's always, again, a lot of time on that guard play. They just don't get enough separation from the defense, and defense is long. They get a piece.
Catherine Plouffe, there's the pass down low, and Pilipaitis can't finish. So much space in there. How that pass even got through, I'll never know.
Same thing, though. They got lost on rotation.
That high-low pass, they've not quite figured it out yet. Nglela puts the defense on the floor, wide open. Muyanga, third. That's a 4-3 of the game. Ruta Muyanga. I think that makes her 14 points, is it?
Muyanga.
12 now, 4 threes. Cuts the gap, more importantly, to 6 as a team. And now Canada really have to regroup and start again. Langlois, there's that high-low pass. Catherine Plouffe penetrates. Triple team meets her. Muyanga picks up the foul. That is her 4th.
Well, that's still only the 4th team foul now, though, for Mozambique. But and that's a full foul. And so we said there's going to be players who are going to have to come in and try and make things happen. So they're going to get some. As long as it's the right people in foul trouble. The problem is Muyanga's just made the full 3, so she's an offensive option.
Mafanela replaces Ruta Muyanga, 14 in for 11. Substitution for Canada as well as Kim Goucher-Smith comes into the game.
When the Mozambique looked like they're starting to struggle a little physically. The help side defense, which has been a problem the whole game, is just standing up, not really filling the middle, not building an eye on the help side to try and help against any penetration. They've just got to knuckle down now.
Well, Delinda Jimo actually thought she was on offense on that
Canadian really
impound. She had scrambled to make herself on the defensive end eventually. Here's Nurse, great cut down low. Plouffe misses another layup. And the Canadians are really contrived their own errors tonight, missing those easy ones. Donge with the missed shot, the finish from Mafanela, Jimo, and she can't quite come up. As the Canada one end missed the easy one, so does Jimo the other. Nurse. Murphy, Lisanne Murphy brings Jimo forward. Great push down to Plouffe.
Travel.
Oh, Catherine Plouffe.
Well, Plouffe got away with one in the first half when there was no one around her. So she sort of catches it, then still takes the 2 steps. Let's take a look. Catch it, 1-2. So she takes that extra little half a step, gets the travel.
Kossa, Nglela over to Mafanela. Oh, they've gone through about 7 or 8 players, Mozambique, as far as major minutes. Donge Case, a great catch, goes up in the air, holds on and hangs on and retrieves the ball. That might be an offensive rebound.
Well, it should be.
On the floor, offensive rebound. Kossa, another 3, that's way short. And it's Michelle Plouffe that cleans up with the rebound. And Milamari Langlois at point guard for Canada. Kia Nurse also in. Great pass down low. Michelle Plouffe will finish this one.
Exactly what we've just been talking about, Mick. No rotation. Poor defense by Dong. I mean, she looks like she needs a blow here. She's sucking out.
Well, all they're doing is making one pass to the high post, cut down low, and it's high-low and easy too.
You know, they could even just collapse a little bit and fill it up with a zone just to give her, if they're not going to take her out, they've got to find a way to give her some minutes of rest here.
Kossa with another 3, another air ball 3-2. That was on the end of a 24-second violation. Kossa turns to the referee and says I was fouled. Not quite sure. That was real. There's the 3.
Coach Sal's got to find a way of trying to hang on here because his team look like they're struggling physically as much as anything else. That's offensive.
Wow. Langlois just buried, I think it was Annabella Kossa to the floor. And Langlois was, well, it wasn't Langlois' foul.
It should have been Langlois' foul.
No, it was, number 4, yeah.
It's a replay of it. You can't just run through someone.
Well, you can, but you're going to get a violation for it. Is Nglela guarded by Kia Nurse. The 2 5s at each other here.
They need to tick it over, don't they? Need to get a score here just to keep that scoreboard ticking over.
Good penetration from Jimo. Felt the contact. Nglela for 3. Will it drop? No, hit both sides of the rim. And Kim Goucher-Smith with the offensive board.
Well, Dong's energy levels just dropped. You know, she didn't compete on the glass on that occasion.
Well, it goes back to what you say. They're getting nothing. 2-point. Great pass to Murphy. 10-point lead for Canada as we approach the minute and 30 mark in this third period. They are slowly inching their way to, oh, that's an offensive foul against Nglela. The referees have really keyed on players just illegally using their elbows. And Kia Nurse at good defensive position. Nglela picks up her first foul of the game.
See, Coach Sal now finds himself in that place. He knows there's only a minute and a half to go. He doesn't want to burn a timeout here. But maybe he could have done a minute or so to go because his team is physically looking very drawn here. And then that's leading to a number of mental breakdowns, definitely really at the defensive end. But Dong just comes up with another effort play.
And then turns it over as she went to dribble it. Unbelievable there, Mozambique had the great defensive play and just couldn't quite have the presence of mind. Another body on the floor there, three there from Gaucher Smith. It is rebounded by Mozambique eventually, but former Costa. There's a wet patch on that floor. I don't think the floor wiper's seen. He's sitting there having a burger mark.
He's conducting the band, Nick, as well.
We need to see that. It could be quite dangerous if the players get down there and slip on it. Anyway, let's get back to play here. Nglela guarded by Langlois. Nglela goes in, wrap around there. Balls again, another turnover against Mozambique. Kia Nurse off to the races. There's the foul for Mafanela, but Dong has got an unsportsmanlike foul from the referees. The referees have said that's too hard a foul.
Harder fouls, not unsportsmanlike, me.
You're talking to the wrong guy, Mark.
It wasn't a great foul. I mean, I'm more than, you know, it's not a great foul. Was it unsportsmanlike? Referee says it is, so it is.
Interesting, Leah Donga then just squinted to look down as if she might be a little short-sighted. But obviously, his players squint. You often see that. First free throw misses from Kia Nurse. 50-40, Canada 10-point edge here.
Dong just looks like dead on her feet out here. You know, misses both free throws. There's plenty of people that will talk about the relevance or the missing them when there's a dispute about the foul. But for me now, Dong needs a spell on the bench. She needs to regroup, needs to get some energy because she's such an important aspect to this Mozambique game. She's just not rebounded.
No doubt about that. Gaucher Smith over to Murphy here. Gaucher Smith about to flare there. Kia Nurse. Oh, there's a big wet, slippy part in that gym. We talked about Langlois for three. And Canada have the biggest lead of the game. 13. We talked about a mid-teen digit lead at the end of the break, and they might be very, very close. Cossa. Langlois plays decent defense, and Cossa has shot some horrendous shots tonight, but that was probably the pick of the best, as that is the end of the third period. She closes the gap to 11, the number 7 from Mozambique. And we've got a cyclist on the court. It never gets any weirder than this, does it? But good to see the floor wipers are down that key end of the Canadian offensive play. There is the cyclist to your screen, as you see, 11-point lead for Canada.
We're going to get a look at the stats in a moment, but
kids, do not try this at home.
No, don't try it at home. Don't try it anywhere, in fact. 23% for Mozambique from the two-point range. They just haven't. They've had a lot of good looks where they haven't finished. Their three-point percentage is still around the 40% mark, and for them, they've done a marvelous job from the line. They're still winning the game on the boards, but they're just giving Canada so many easy looks around the basket. But if you're a Mozambique fan, they're never done. They're never out of a game because they can score from the three-point line in a hurry. What they've got to stop is if to win this, they can't turn the ball over 20 times, and they're on course for a 20-point turnover game. But they're going to get look at the early three from Canada in the highlights, but what you're also going to see is some wide open looks around the basket. And we're going to get moments where they get options like the Tatum shot there, where the defense just doesn't see the cut. Nice cut, nice execution. Canada, for like 16 seconds of their offense, shouldn't even worry about looking for the three unless it's in transition. Move the ball around, they'll get easy looks unless Mozambique changes defense. It's another look with Plouffe on the inside with the easy two. And what we were saying during commentary, Mick, was Dong being so tired. She had 8 rebounds in the first half on 12 minutes. She's just got another 10 minutes and has picked up only 1. Now, some of that is down to Aim in particular with a good work on the defensive glass. But her energy level on the boards has just dropped. And as it was so important to Mozambique in that first half, they need to get her going again.
Well, exciting prospect, Leah Donga, number 11 for Mozambique, but it will be Canada with that 11-point lead with a lot more confidence, it has to be said. Their third quarter play was fairly good. A lot of three-point shooting. They've hit 7 for the game now. As Mia-Marie Langlois here to Goucher-Smith. Now they're running this shot clock right to the end, aren't they? Langlois, Goucher-Smith looks at the shot clock. They don't even know what it's on the clock. They run out of time. So although it looked pretty, it really didn't end up with much. Well, at the end of that, they got lost in that passing game, didn't they?
Well, 24 seconds of offense to take a rush 3.
Well, I would imagine that mid-quarter, mid-half break taken by Coach Tomaides would have talked about movement of the ball. That's how they came out. And they executed it right to the nail, but didn't quite come up with the best shot, or any shot. Mahonga back in the game. We hit 3 in the first half. Leah Donga penetrates. Donga goes up, and there's contact from Catherine Plouffe.
Didn't get past it, did she? She didn't create the advantage. The referee would have helped her with the foul if she'd have created the advantage.
Well, Langlois settles for the 3 this time. She just hit one before the break. Maybe Tomaides will feel that's a little too early, but you can't have the best of both worlds. You've got to have your players confident in shooting the ball. Mahonga. And the header, ball above her head.
You have the feeling now, Mick, don't you, that the Mozambique need to get it ticking over that scoreboard.
Donge, a 15-footer. You know, that ability in that mid-post, Mark, you talk about it. If you got that ability to hit the jump shot, get a rebounder to get after the missed shots and just go to it every time. Milk it to the death. Nurse brings the defense forward. Nurse into the lane. This should be an easy drop, and it is. Kia Nurse for 2 more. And she goes to double digits now, I think.
Well, Coach Sal takes the timeout very early in the fourth quarter. Again, they defensively, same issue, Mick. When they rush, they close out. Long closeouts are difficult for Mozambique, and they create dribble penetration. The help's not very good on rotation, so easy-looking shot. He's got to change something here. Maybe now is his chance to, if he wants pressure up the floor, do it in that little trap. Maybe he needs to fall back to his zone. Still enough time for the zone to be effective.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Now's the time you try something. You've been man-to-man the whole game. You've seen Canada look, zone here, 2-3 zone, 3-2 zone. Maybe gets a couple of stops, gives his offense a chance to click into gear, get it back into single digits.
And
again.
He could run off the front of it. His scoring output is getting lower and lower every quarter. 18, 13, and 10. And a lot of that's down to just his physical condition. I think some of these guys, as you said earlier in commentary, they don't have the same depth. They don't have the same rotation options as Canada. And now that physicality is going to start to wear this Mozambique team down. And if they're going to get back in this and make this what it could be a very interesting fourth quarter, they've got to get a little bit of momentum now. They don't need to close it too much, but they need to keep it around this mark, eat into it a little bit, keep it in single digits. Then they've got a real shot at this.
Well, Shona Thorburns come in for Mia-Marie Langlois at guard for Canada. For a lot more experience for the Canadians, I think, is Mahonga, who's got plenty of experience, that's for sure. Turns it away, turns it over. And yes, indeed, Canada will get the ball.
Well, you said just now, a minute ago, Dong with that talent from the mid-range. Get her a touch there and see what happens. She was open throughout the whole of the offense. And they ended up with a poor selection of shot.
1-2-2 zone presser. Well, Thorburn goes in. She couldn't believe the space she had. She didn't take the shot in the end. Goucher-Smith will launch a 3, and that will start to kill this one off. 14 points to lead for Canada now, 7:53 to go. There's got to ask the question mark, is there a way back here for Mozambique? Donga's going to try 3.
That's not the way back. Dong from the three-point line is not the way back for Mozambique. But it's got to start at this segment. They've got to find a way, just physically. They've just got to keep the intensity up. They've just got to make sure they contain their player. And Murphy's taking a finger in the eye.
Well, and a shoulder to the face as well. And they're thrown to the ball.
That's exactly what you don't want as a team.
Oh, my goodness. That'll be talked about at dinner tonight. Well, the referee should stop the game, surely. I would have thought the best time to stop it is when you've got the ball. Well, Lisanne Murphy, I think she took a finger to the eye, then
a shoulder
to the face when she wasn't looking.
And then Kathleen Plouffe just said, hey, take this pass.
Let's have a look at this there. There's, well, it's a rake, isn't it? It's a slight contact to the eyelid that can be. Now watch what happens. There's the elbow as the, I think it was Mafanela came flying over.
But Mick, it's a foul. You know, if you put your hand in someone's face like that, it's a foul. And there's that's the issue. That, you know, she was fouled because someone put a finger in her eye, and it was right. There's 3 officials out there. They have to see that.
I'm going to disagree on that. That's a incidental finger in the eye. The comical side of it is they passed to the ball.
Well, how many intentional fouls are there, Mick? You know, it's like I'm not.
Mafanela back here, Mozambique now. They trail by 14 in a bit of a hole here as time is running out.
Got to go inside, get some on the ball around the ring. Guimo will be an option.
Mafanela and wide open. Nglela front of the rim on the 3-pointer. Canada can afford to take their time here and take the air out of this ball, run some time off this clock without being too negative.
Well, these situations are made for the way that Canada play. They're very good at controlling situations at end of games. They'll keep the percentages high on the shot. They'll use the clock, and then they'll do this.
They pass to Tatum. Tatum finds the bottom of the backboard. Didn't really have an angle to shoot.
The pass was late.
Mahonga in. Mahonga dishes it out to Gimo. Gimo comes back out to Nglela. Nglela puts the ball on the floor. Great pass down low, but Mafanela went through her legs. Big, huge smile on the face of Odelia Mafanela. Or was it a grimace?
Well, I think a little bit of both. They have a really great approach to the game, Mozambique, in terms of wanting to play with a smile. But at the moment, they're just running out a little of ideas. But don't forget, they can pour in the threes. You know, 40–50% from the 3-point line. They could shoot their way right back in this.
Mia Marie Langlois in the game for Canada, guarded by the veteran Mahonga. Tatum comes up, as does Goucher Smith. Now they go to this high post a lot here. Aim's on that high post. Tatum. There is Aim on the high post. Look to dump it down now, possibly. Aim down to Goucher Smith. Will not score. I think the Canadians wanted a foul. Head coach Lisa Tomaides definitely wants one. I think she can quite believe there was no foul called.
I'm with her on that one.
Chambe is 8 for Mozambique. Nglela is 5 with the ball here. Mahonga pops out, picked off, and picked a pocket there.
Travel.
Oh, travel by Shona Thorburn. You know, you get the steal, the ball's dribbling away. You've really got to control it with your one hand.
It's a hard one, isn't it?
Picked it up with 2 and went off, yep.
It's a hard one. It was almost like there. She picked it up and then took a it wasn't like she picked it up then put it down. She just took her little step with it. Bit hard done by on that call, though.
Well, Goucher Smith next to Shona Thorburn as Canada go into that timeout. The coaches aren't quite in there. They're still deliberating. It's Shawnee Harley is the assistant coach to Tomaides, as is Beverly Smith. There's Tomaides. Let's see if we can get in and find out what she's saying.
Well, I mean, Coach Sal's got the issues. He's down 14. I don't know how much energy his guys have in terms of getting back in the game. As you see the shooting stats. And for Mozambique, the problem still remains. They're struggling to finish in the 2-point area. That's because there's good Canadian defense. And they're just not getting enough stops. They're giving up too many high percentage shots around the ring. Now, what Canada will tend to do now is try and put the game to bed. And you can get a little bit too negative then, a little bit too passive. And Mozambique could be a dangerous opponent if they get that 3-point shot going.
5 minutes and 25 seconds left of this one. First game of the World Championship here for women, 2014 in Turkey, the hosts. And Mozambique. Nglela's 3. Well, that is exactly what the doctor ordered, dear Linda. Nglela rattles off, might make that her 3rd 3-pointer of the game. And now Canada will know for sure that this game is not over and done with just yet. Now, was it a 2 or a 3, Mark?
I didn't see. I didn't know what did he give. They gave it.
Lead.
They've given it. It's now. Well, no, they've given it a 2.
Aim on this high post here. Thorburn steps in. Aim is wide open. They double team the handoff, and nobody rotates around on that baseline.
It's been the one thing. If you could take this video and show it with that Mozambique team, how they play defense against the pick and roll, how they rotate from the weak side, would take away a huge percentage of points from Canada.
Foul is against Mia Marie Langlois of Canada, the number 4.
And Mick, they'll have to get it right because every other team in this group will be saying, right, run the pick and roll, we're fine. Until Mozambique find a way of organizing their defense. Great hands by Thorburn.
Well, Thorburn again comes up with another spiel, feeds Tatum, and now it's running out of control for Mozambique. 4 minutes 20 to play. We've got a 16-point lead up on that scoreboard. And they're really got to settle their nerves now and come up with a game plan to finish this game off. Jimo, Shambe to Nglela. Over to Mahonga. Muyanga, who's been deadly from the 3-point line. Muyanga goes up left-handed. That's come off a Canadian hand. Oh, my word. And Nglela just stolen it right out of Thorburn. And a layup for Muyanga with a 4 threes. Now has a 2-pointer to boot.
Wow.
14-point lead.
Just messy, wasn't it? Messy all around.
Well, Canada will do well now to just sit on this thing for a good 24 seconds and just kill this game off, because Mozambique have the ability to get right back in it.
High post entries or high post pick and roll. Just milk it until Mozambique find a way of containing it.
That foul was on Jimo, 15. That's her 4th foul for Mozambique. There's Miranda Aima and Tamara Tatum. Here's the pass down for Tatum's last layup, Mark, and she hasn't scored much tonight, Tamara Tatum, but she's always there and thereabouts.
Well, that's the thing with this Canadian team. On any given night, you're not really aware who's going to be their leading scorer because of the way they run their system. Anyone could be that scorer.
Tatum goes back door and scores another 2.
Yeah, and there we go.
All of a sudden, Canada scoring with ease, which has not been the case throughout this game. Nglela gets the switch. Now they've got Ndong wide open. They have not even attempted to even turn an eye towards the number 11 for Mozambique in that low post, who had guarded by Mia Marie Langlois. There you see 11 and 4 disappearing into the left of your screen. Nglela goes way away from it, and a turnover. Naira Fields here, number 10 for Canada. There's Langlois. Reversal to Goucher Smith. Aim goes long on the jump shot, rebounded well by Muyanga. And Nglela, this could be the last throw of the dice here for Mozambique as we approach the 2.5-minute mark. Nglela, Muyanga's got caught up with something in there. There's a lob pass. Shambe into the lane, pass straight to Tatum, but she can't control it. And it will stay with the Mozambique team.
Well,
Interesting, Mark, the tallest girl on the court is the referee from China. She's incredibly tall, 6'3", 6'4".
Sign her up.
Nglela arcs up a 3. It does hit the rim. It didn't look as though it had much confidence behind it when it left the hands. Tatum here, met by Shambe. Oh, lovely pass to Goucher Smith. Goucher Smith settles for the jump shot. And now Canada have opened up an 18-point lead. Take that, yeah, it is 18. And Nira Nasir Saleh calls timeout. That will be his final talk with the girls, the Mozambique girls, before the end of this game.
Well, I'm pleased that Kim Goucher came down and wide open. You could argue that she's the 24, but you're wide open, 8 feet from the basket. Player of her quality is going to knock that down, so we can you can take that. And Canada, to me, at the moment, you've got to take it. You've got to actually recognize what they've done here, because Mozambique have come out with parts of this game came out with a lot of questions that Canada had to answer, and the Dong stat sums it up for me. Canada have made a number of adjustments throughout this game. Dong at the half, 8 rebounds, 5 points, has 9 rebounds and 7 points on the game. A lot of that's down to the way Aim boxed her out. They made a few adjustments. And Canada have made those adjustments as this game has developed. So, you know, we talked about it being a new dawn or a nice, interesting team because of the mix of experience and balance. And they've found a way to respond to a difficult opponent. Mozambique, opening game, their emotion would have been high because it's their first game in the World Championships. Canada looked like they dealt with it and dealt with it very professionally.
Yeah, I think the third period, Mark, you're exactly right. The third period, they would have had a stiff talk at halftime about application and motivation. They came out strong third period, defensively stepped it up a couple of notches. And with about 2:20 to play, an 18-point deficit. Well, we said Mozambique might get early 50s or even struggle to get 50, and that's exactly the way it is. Canada get the turnover, the ball's on the floor. It's my ball and I'm keeping it, says Miranda Aim, and it will go to
it's a Mozambique
ball, yeah. So I guess it's one of those things when you're a player, you should always know where the possession arrow is going to go, because you bury yourself in there, you're just as well trying to get rid of it to your teammate.
Yep.
Nglela to hand off to Annabella Cossa. Here comes Muyanga. Looking down low, they're going to get the ball to Donge, are they? No, they won't. Nglela instead, up top.
They just look her off, don't they? That's just a step to the three-point line to take the three.
Wow, Donge does hit the three. Well, that first three she took early in the second half was with confidence, so more offensive foul against Mia Marie Langlois. We saw the replay of the three. I said before, the first three was a confident three, and there she's just shown us that she has that ability to step back there.
Well, it looks a really nice stroke. It's just what we're really saying is that she's getting looked off in the post, and she should really get an earlier look than that. But it's a nice looking three. She's a definite player that could really be develop a little career for herself here.
Well, the Mozambique get another three-pointer on this offense off that offensive foul. It'll definitely set the cat amongst the pigeons. There it is. Nglela drops the three, and all of a sudden we're back to a 12-point game. Nurse comes in for Langlois. And now Canada will face a bit of defensive pressure down the floor. Miranda Aim collects straight back to Thorburn. Thorburn waves everybody down the floor, guarded by Nglela. Thorburn into the lane, backdoor to Fields, misses the layup, gets the rebound and misses that too. Muyanga, tried to dish it off to Dong and turns it over. That was just begging for a bounce pass.
Oh, it was begging for a bounce pass or even their own layup. You know, either way, a turnover, it just kills it, and it possibly takes away any shot, because they can hit 3-4 threes back to back. It's only a 12-point game. That would have taken it to 10, and they could have been right back in this with a chance to play full-court defense. Now the ball gets advanced. They're having to deny it in the half court, see if they can generate a turnover.
Well, I don't think Canada will feel they're in danger of losing this game. They'll want to run some time off this clock with 1 minute and 23 seconds. As the circus is in town on the floor as the timeout entertainment. It's taken my eye, Mark, that's for sure. I'm just intrigued. As Coach Lisa Tomaides here just overgoing these instructions.
Yeah, Coach Sal now, he's going to walk out this gym being positive. Whatever, he's going to be disappointed if he gets the loss. But now he comes out, he tries to get a steal. He's got fouls to give, so he can really try and just do whatever he can to get that steal straight off the pass, see if he can generate a turnover. And if he can get that, get a three, you know, it's not dead and buried. It's a very small light at the end of the tunnel, but there's still light at the end of the tunnel.
So Canada have advanced the ball down the floor from that timeout, and it will be Courtney Pilipaitis to inbounds just off the subs bench. Shona Thorburn comes up top. The experience of Thorburn on the floor now, along with Kia Nurse, is Tatham.
They've got to go after the ball. There we go.
Almost had the ball intercepted. Well, there's 7 off the clock on that offense.
There's no one after the ball, though, until Dong tried to get that steal. They're just playing far too conservatively, given the fact they really have only a long shot at getting back in this.
Pilipaitis, reversal to Tatham here. They look for Aim on this next pass. There's Aim's pass on the bounce pass. Back to Tatham is the pick and roll. Tatham goes away from the pick and roll into the lane. Wide open is Thorburn. And that will come back to Canada. Canada get the offensive board, and now they can take some more air out of this ball.
That may well be the...
Nurse takes a quick three, short, and a rebound from Aim. Now what will she do with it? She's going to get tied up almost in there. Nurse goes in and misses a layup. So we're under a minute to play. 3 offenses there for Canada, and they came up with nothing. Time is probably out for Mozambique, but they'll get a good shot at it here. Costa into the lane. I'm sure Canada will give them a foul there from Tatum. There's no chance of foul trouble. That's only the 3rd foul for Canada this quarter. That'll be sideline ball for Mozambique. And Deolinda Nglela will inbound. She's got 13 points tonight, the number 5 for Mozambique. Leading scorer is Muyanga. There's the lob pass to Costa. Costa had the chance of the 3 and a foul in the back from Aim. That's the 4th team foul against Canada.
And that's the first time they've actually tried to find Gong in the block, almost in the whole of the second half.
Since she made that jump shot from mid-post.
Well, you know, it's... And the foul reflects that as well. They haven't been aggressive either on the pass or the dribble in this second half.
This Muyanga baseline drive, misses the layup, just a little too much away from the basket on that. Aim the rebound. This one should get dribbled out pretty quickly now. Thorburn will bring it out, possibly reverse it. Pilipaitis looking for Tatum, finds Thorburn instead. Pilipaitis for 3 to finish us off, and scores with 2.9 on the clock. Nglela catches. She may get the last shot of the game with a 3. And misses, and at the end of this one, Canada have come through by hook or by crook. They have won this game 69-54. Mozambique will collect their first loss, but for head coach Lisa Tomaitis, the first victory of the World Championships for 2014 has come at, I wouldn't say at great cost, but they've learned a lot about themselves, that's for sure. Not a great, particularly high-scoring team, but 69 on the board is what was needed to be done, because Mozambique really in reality were never going to get past the mid-50s perhaps.
Well, we talked about them being a 70-point team, and in the past they've got more points potential on this team than they have had in the past, because they missed a lot of easy looks around the basket, especially in parts of that second period in particular. And those stats, they're just stats always do summing up, with only a 28%. Mozambique right around where they should be from the 3-point line, but Canada 46%, should have been a lot better. 40% from the 3-point line, you know, roughly. Great job on the glass by Mozambique, just about won that battle, but 21 assists for Canada. Coaches love that. That means they're getting easy looks, and a lot of those were around the basket on those little back cuts. 21 turnovers to Mozambique really do hurt you, and it's 0 blocks. 10 blocks for Canada. A lot of those were guard blocks on guards with pull-up jump shots. But I think the Canadians will go away from this very happy, because they got the short straw. They had to play Mozambique first game up with all the energy of their first game. They've been professional. They get the win. They move on, and qualification is a real opportunity for Canada now.
Well, I hope you've enjoyed our first production here from Turkey, Ankara, the Ankara Arena. We'll leave you with these highlights, but game 1 has seen Canada 69, Mozambique 54, 1-0 for the Canadians. They march on. They'll play again tomorrow, as will the Mozambiquis. And join us up next for game 2 here from the Ankara Arena, which will be Spain versus Japan. See you then. Bye now.